When most people think of California missions, they think of the beautiful architecture of the buildings, they think of the flowers that roam the properties, they think of the fountains that are also seen on the property. But many people, they do not stop to think of the mission's origins or how they began. This is going to be a story, historical fiction story, about what I think it would have been like to be a Native American in the time of the early 1800s when the missions first started. My name is Tongva. When I was a little girl, my mother taught me everything about gathering. We would gather the corn in the fields, we would plant in the off seasons, we knew everything about the soil and the rain and how it fell and made the plants grow for miles. She taught me how to make all of the different foods to feed the village, and she taught me how important it was for our job as women to provide for the family and to raise the children and to make sure that our village thrived. My mother taught me that it was the man's job to go out and hunt. So each day, my father and my brothers would go out into the field and catch us dinner. They would use bows and arrows to shoot deer and elk and squirrels and other kinds of animals, and we would eat the meat, cook the meat, eat the meat, and use every part of the animal, even the bones, to make sure that we thanked them for their generosity in helping us, and we would use the meat and give back to the earth what they had given to us. Each day was a new adventure, and we praised the Mother Earth for giving us our daily bread and for giving us the plants that we could use to make food and for the meat that we could use to fill our bellies, and each day held in store a new adventure for us, and we were very thankful. I remember it was just a couple of years ago when all of that changed. We had heard some stories of family members and friends who had had some of their family members and friends being stolen from their tribes and taken to these Spanish camps where they were told about a new religion, about Catholicism, and they were taught a new language and told that they had to help build these missions. They had no idea what lay in store. These Spanish people came and they took the men in our village and they took the women, separated them, and had some of them together, and they studied them, and they sent back their findings to, I don't even know where, but that's what happened. Many missions were built, and even more of our people were being taken away from their families and forced into these missions. People were said to have been transformed and converted to Catholicism, but we knew that it was only a cover because we had to do what we could to survive. There were so many stories of people that had been whipped and flogged and beaten into submission. These Spanish people were very dangerous. Many of my family caught diseases like smallpox and other things that we had no name for at the time, but later learned these names. I was very lucky to have gotten out. I was part of the Yokuts tribe, and we provided a sort of safe haven for some of our people, some of the Native Americans, to come and join our tribe in order to stay safe from these Spanish people. Sometimes they would capture Native Americans and bring them back, but for the most part, we did our part to stand up to these people. Overall, the missions that I see today are a permanent reminder of the tragedies and the devastation that wrought my family. The missions that I see were built upon the backs of people that had no choice. They were forced into this submission, or else they faced punishment. And I know so many people that have perished because of these missions, and I will eternally have resentment for these people that did such horrible things to my family.